Perfect. Let's make the world's best crisp one-page cheat sheet on writ of prohibition. I'll keep only the must-know points, no extra story, no fluff, just the sharpest bullets, dates, keywords, and quick memory tricks. This will help you revise super fast before exams. Hashtag cheat sheet, writ of prohibition. Meaning, prohibition will stop. A writ, formal order issued by a higher court to a lower court tribunal. Purpose, stop proceedings when lower court is acting without or beyond jurisdiction. Nickname, stay in your lane writ. Constitutional basis, India, Article 32, Supreme Court only for fundamental rights. Article 226, High Courts for fundamental plus other legal rights, derived from English common law, adopted in India. Against whom? Judicial authorities, courts, quasi-judicial bodies, tribunals, boards deciding disputes. Not against administrative bodies, not against legislative bodies, not against private individuals or companies. Nature and timing. Preventive remedy stops future action. Issued during proceedings before final order. If final order already passed, use certiorari, not prohibition, when issued. 1. Lack of jurisdiction, no power at all. 2. Excess of jurisdiction, acting beyond power. 3. Violation of natural justice, unfair trial, no hearing. 4. Acting without authority, pretending to have power. Effect, stops further proceedings of lower court. Does not cancel past orders. That's for certiorari. Binding lower court must obey. Difference, memory hack. Mandamus equals make do, order to act. Prohibition, please stop, order not to act. Certiorari equals cancel, correct, order to undo a past wrong. Limits, if alternative remedy, appeal, review, exists, writ usually not issued. Exceptions, fundamental rights at stake, complete absence of jurisdiction, violation of natural justice. Quick example, small traffic court tries to hear a murder case. Lawyer files for prohibition in High Court. High Court orders, traffic court, stop, you can't try this. Exam keywords, preventive writ, higher, lower court, lack excess jurisdiction, natural justice, judicial, quasi-judicial only, no admin, legislative private, pre-decision remedy. Smart revision tips, link words, mandamus will make do, prohibition, please stop, certiorari, always right, preventive, not corrective. Add Article 32 SC plus Article 226 HC to every writ answer for full marks. Use short example, traffic versus murder, to impress examiner. That's your one-page crisp revision sheet. Nothing missed. Everything exam ready. Do you want me to make a side-by-side table of all 5 writs, habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, quo warranto, in the same crisp style so you can revise the whole writs topic in one glance? Here's the world's best one-page crisp cheat sheet on certiorari, concise, exam-ready, and covering every important detail. Cheat sheet, writ of certiorari, meaning, literal meaning, to be certified, to be informed. Nature, order issued by higher court to lower court tribunal. Purpose, transfer a case from lower court tribunal to higher court. Quash, cancel, an order. If the lower body made mistakes, acts as preventive, stops a wrong before it happens. Curative, corrects a wrong already done. Grounds for issue, excess of jurisdiction, lower court does more than its legal power. Lack of jurisdiction, lower court decides something it was not allowed to. Error of law, wrong interpretation or application of law. Scope and evolution, earlier rule before 1991, could be issued only against judicial or quasi-judicial authorities, not against administrative authorities. Supreme Court ruling 1991, certiorari can also be issued against administrative authorities if they affect rights of individuals. Example, if an administrative officer cancels someone's license wrongly, certiorari can be used. Limits, where it cannot apply, against legislative bodies, parliament, state legislatures, against private individuals or bodies. Key difference, prohibition versus certiorari. Prohibition, only preventive, stops an action before it happens. Certiorari, both preventive plus curative, stops and also corrects. If a district court gives a judgment on a matter that only a high court can decide, certiorari cancels it. If a tax officer wrongly imposes a penalty beyond his power, higher court uses certiorari to quash. Keywords to remember: higher court, lower court, transfer or quash, preventive plus curative, jurisdiction error, legal error. 1991 expansion includes administrative authorities, not for legislature or private bodies. Exam tips and tricks: link certiorari with correction, both start with C, helps remember its curative. Remember 1991 judgment, broadened scope. Compare with prohibition for short answer questions. Use case examples like wrongful cancellation of license in answers fetches extra marks. With this one page, you can revise in 2 minutes before exam and still not miss any point. Would you like me to also make a visual memory map, diagram, flowchart for certiorari so that you can revise even faster before exams? Perfect, I'll turn your detailed step-by-step into a crisp one-page exam cheat sheet. Only keywords, short bullets and must-know facts so you can revise it in minutes. I'll also add a couple of bonus memory tricks at the end. Quo warranto, exam cheat sheet. Meaning and origin. Latin, by what authority? Warrant. Court asks, show your legal proof for holding this public office. Purpose, tests legal right to hold a public office. If no right, office declared vacant, removal ordered. Authority, who issues? Supreme Court, Article 32. High Courts, Article 266. Scope, where applicable. Substantive public offices created by law, constitution. Judge, VC, mayor, statutory chair. No ministerial jobs, temporary, ad hoc, private company posts or internal club roles. Who can file? Any interested person, not just aggrieved. Must show public interest. Grounds, when allowed. 1. No qualification, e.g. age, citizenship, degree missing. 2. Invalid appointment, wrong procedure. 3. Usurpation, holding without legal right. 4. Statutory constitutional office wrongly occupied. Remedy, effect, court demands proof. If invalid, removal vacancy declared. Procedure, steps. 1. File petition, HC. 2. Notice to office holder. 3. Show proof, law appointment. 4. Hearing both sides. 5. Court uphold or remove. Limits, discretionary, court may refuse, not for private ministerial jobs, not for service disputes, salary promotion, use appeal, service law. Difference from other writs: quo, who has right to office? Mandamus, do your duty. Prohibition, call stop, future jurisdiction error. Certiorari, quash past wrong order. Habeas corpus, free from illegal detention. Examples: wrong mayor, law needs 30 years, person is 25 removed. VC appointment without selection committee, quashed. Exam essentials, must write, literal. By what authority? Writ to test right to hold public office. Issued by HC, R226, SC, R32. Scope, only substantive offices, not private minor. Any citizen can file. Relief, removal, vacancy. Memory tricks, query question, who are you to sit there? Think of principal's chair story, easy recall. Link with warrant, authority proof. With this page, you can recall meaning, purpose, authority, scope, who files, grounds, effect, limits, difference, examples. Would you like me to now make this into a print-ready one page with nice layout and boxes for revision? Here's a world-class, super crisp one-page cheat sheet for Article 33, fully exam-ready, with bullets, dates, keywords, examples, and revision tricks. Everything is included so you can quickly revise. Article 33, cheat sheet, super crisp and exam ready. Purpose, lets Parliament modify fundamental rights, Part 3 for armed forces, police, intelligence. Goal, discipline, order, national security, proper discharge of duties. Who can legislate? Only Parliament, not states. Laws must be official acts. Commanders alone cannot override rights. Key acts, made under Article 33. Act, year, covers PLU. Army Act, 1950. Army soldiers and supporting staff. Air Force Act, 1950, Air Force personnel. Navy Act, 1957, Navy personnel. Police Forces, Restriction of Rights Act, 1966, Police and Public Order Forces. Open quote. These acts define discipline, duties and punishments. Close quote. Common rights restricted, with tiny examples. Freedom of speech, e.g. soldier cannot post troop locations online. Right to form associations, trade unions, e.g. army cook cannot form strike union. Political rights, cannot join party or attend rallies in uniform. Press and media contact cannot reveal secret operations. Public meetings, protests, restricted in uniform, as service representative. Open quote, tip, memorize with the acronym SPAT-P, speech, political association, press, protest. Close quote. Who is covered? All armed forces members, including non-combat staff, cooks, mechanics, barbers, tailors, chowkidars. Example, Bala the army cook, still bound by army rules. Courts and review. Court-martial, military court for offences under service acts. Civil courts, HCSC writs. Article 33 allows limited review, cannot challenge every military decision. Safeguard. Supreme Court monitors balance between discipline and rights. Armed Forces Tribunal, AFT, established 2007 purpose, independent forum for grievances, pay, promotions, court-martial appeals. Appeal to SC only for points of law of general public importance. Key case, Prithipal Singh Bedi v Union of India 1982, need proper judicial check. Simple stories to remember. 1. Secret tweet, Raju posts troop location, court-martial, AFT appeal. 2. Political rally, Meena in police uniform attends rally, punished, maintain neutrality. 3. Union complaint, Ram Cook, tries union, restricted, discipline maintained. Important nuances. Article 33, take all rights away forever, only modifies rights as necessary. Only Parliament can make laws, not individual commanders. Courts watch for excessive restrictions, balance security and fairness. Exam trick tips, always link Article 33, Acts, Rights Restricted Tribunal. Remember acronym SPAT-P for restricted rights. Example stories are easy memory anchors, use them in answers. Mention AFT 2007 and Prithipal Singh Bedi 1982 for judiciary checks. Focus on discipline and national security as the reason for restrictions. Quick revision flow. Article 33, Parliament, Acts, Army 1950, Air 1950, Navy 1957, Police 1966, Restricted Rights, SPAT-P, Court-Martial and AFT 2007, SC Review, Safeguard. If you want, I can also make a super tiny visual one-page diagram version, like a flowchart with icons and arrows, that you can print and revise in 30 seconds. It's even faster than reading bullets. Do you want me to make that too?
Got it. Let's create the world's best one-page cheat sheet on martial law versus national emergency. I'll keep it crisp, concise, exam-ready, with keywords, dates, and smart tricks so you can revise in seconds. Cheat sheet, martial law versus national emergency. Martial law, meaning, military rule replaces civilian government. Effect, only fundamental rights, Part 3, suspended. Govt and courts, both suspended. Military authority takes control. Reason, breakdown of law and order, riots, rebellion, collapse of police control. Area, imposed in a specific area only, not whole country. Constitutional provision, no specific article, implicit power of state. Nature, temporary, extraordinary step. Keyword trick, martial, military equals only rights touched plus govt, stopped. National emergency, Art 352, 356, 360, meaning, rule under extraordinary constitutional powers. Effect, suspends fundamental rights, SB Art 19, sometimes Art 21. Alters center-state relations. Center becomes supreme. Parliament's tenure can be extended. Distribution of revenues and powers changes. Govt and courts continue functioning, but under center's control. Reason, only on 3 grounds. Arting 352. 1. War. 2. External aggression. 3. Armed rebellion. Earlier internal disturbance until 44th Amendment, 1978. Area, whole country, or part of it. Constitutional provision, explicitly provided in Articles 352 to 360. Tenure, 6 months, extendable by Parliament. Keyword, trick, national equals nationwide will govt works, rights, relations, revenue affected. Key differences, martial law versus national emergency. Feature, martial law, national emergency. Keywords, effects, only fundamental rights. Rights, center state, revenues, Parliament. Govern courts, suspended, continue. Grounds, breakdown of law and order. War, aggression, armed rebellion. Area, specific area, whole country, part. Constitutional provision, no explicit provision. Explicit, Arting 352 to 360. Extra important facts for exams. India never had martial law till date. National emergencies declared. 1. 1962 China War, external aggression. 2. 1971 Pakistan War, war. 3, 1975 to 77, Indira Gandhi, internal disturbance misused. That's 44th Amendment, 1978, changed, internal disturbance, armed rebellion. Protected Article 21, right to life even during emergency. Tip, martial equals military rule. National emergency, Nehru Indira emergency. Quick memory tricks. 1. Martial, military, no gov plus only rights affected. 2. National emergency, nationwide, rights plus relations revenue. 3. 3 grounds for emergency equals war. War, aggression, rebellion. With this, you can recall differences in seconds. Do you want me to also design this as a visual mind map diagram, like a one-page poster, so you can revise faster before exams? Here's a world-class one-page cheat sheet on martial law and fundamental rights, Article 34. Crisp, exam-ready, and with all keywords, dates, and tips. Nothing important is missed. Martial law and fundamental rights, Article 34, cheat sheet. Core points. Article 34. Parliament may indemnify, protect governed servants, others for acts under martial law. Parliament may validate punishments, sentences, acts done during martial law. Works notwithstanding. Part 3 overrides fundamental rights enforcement. Martial law, undefined in Constitution, equals military rule over civilians. Borrowed from English common law. Civil courts and ordinary law, suspended, overridden by military tribunals. When imposed, war, invasion. Insurrection, armed rebellion. Large riots, violent resistance. Not same as military law applies only to armed forces. National emergency, Art 352, whole country, large part, civilian governed continues, not direct army rule. Legal effects, Parliament's Act of Indemnity, cannot be challenged in court on grounds of violating fundamental rights, protects officials' army from legal action. Supreme Court, 1976 A.M. Jabalpur, weakened liberty, overruled in 2017, Puttaswamy, strong protection of life and liberty restored. 44th Amendment, 1978, strengthened safeguards, some rights, life and liberty, cannot be suspended. Historical context, Constitution, 1950. Art of 34 inserted martial law acts, no nationwide martial law declared in India since independence. AFSPA, 1958, still in force, often compared to de facto martial law in any India and J&K, highly debated. Keywords to memorize. Indemnify, protect from legal consequences. Validate, make legally correct and final. Notwithstanding Part 3 equals overrides fundamental rights enforcement. Military tribunals equals army-run courts during martial law. AFSPA equals Armed Forces Special Powers Act, practical martial law. Key dates, 1950, Article 34 came into force. 1975 to 77, emergency, ADM Jabalpur, 1976, rights suspended. 1978, 44th Amendment, stronger rights protection. 2017, Puttaswamy judgment, ADM Jabalpur overruled, liberty reaffirmed. Tips and tricks for exams. Trick to remember difference. Martial equals military boots on streets, direct army rule. Emergency, political order shaken. Civil gov stays, army not ruling directly. One-liner memory hook. Article 34, sheeters, override of rights. Always link AFSPA and answers shows current relevance. Mention ADM Jabalpur 1970 versus Puttaswamy 2017 shows evolution of liberty protection. This is your quick revise page. 1 min scan before exam equals full recall. Do you want me to now create a side-by-side comparison table of martial law versus national emergency, keywords plus quick examples, so you can use it as a double cheat sheet? Perfect. Let's now make a one-page crisp cheat sheet of Article 35, affecting certain fundamental rights. This will be bullet style, keyword rich, no unnecessary sentences, super easy to revise before exams. Have cheat sheet, Article 35, affecting certain fundamental rights. Core idea. Only Parliament, not state legislatures, can make laws for certain fundamental rights, FRs. Ensures uniformity of FRs plus punishments across India. Even if subject is in state list, Parliament gets power. Parliament's exclusive powers, Article 35. 1. Residence condition for jobs, Art. 16. Parliament can allow residence requirement for state UT local authority jobs. States can't decide this. 2. Empowering lower courts for writs, Art. 32. Normally, only SCHC issue writs. Parliament may extend power to other courts. 3. Restricting FRs of armed forces, etc., Art. 33. FRs of armed forces, police, paramilitary, intelligence may be restricted, curtailed, for disciplines national security. 4. Indemnity under martial law. Article 34. Parliament can protect, indemnify officers' servants for acts done under martial law. Parliament's power to prescribe punishments must make laws prescribing punishment for violation of certain FRs. Untouchability, Art. 17. Protection of Civil Rights Act, 1955, SC-ST Act, 1989. Human Trafficking and Forced Labor, Art. 23. Immoral Traffic Act, 1956. Funded Labor Abolition Act, 1976. Old laws. Any law in force on these matters at Constitution Commencement 1950 continues until changed, removed by Parliament. Purpose: uniformity of fundamental rights across India. Prevent state misuse politics. National importance issues need central handling. Examples of laws under Art. 35, Protection of Civil Rights Act, 1955. SCST, Prevention of Atrocities Act, 1989. Immoral Traffic Prevention Act, 1956. Bonded Labor System Abolition Act, 1976. Exam keywords: exclusive power, Parliament, uniformity of FRs, arts. 16, 32, 33, 34, 17, 23. Punishments for untouchability and trafficking, even in state list. Parliament power. Exam tips and tricks. Trick: remember two groups of articles. Rights related, 16, 32, 33, 34. Punishment related, 17, 23. And often asked, which fundamental rights offenses need punishment by Parliament? Untouchability and human trafficking, forced labor. Note difference. Martial law, Art. 34. Tafad, emergency, different provisions. In one line, Article 35 equals only Parliament can legislate on some FRs plus punishments. Art. 16, 32, 33, 34, 17, 23 ensures uniformity. Do you want me to also visual mnemonic diagram, like a memory map, so you can read Article 35 instantly in exam without confusion? Perfect. Let's create the best crisp one-page cheat sheet on right to property, present position. This will be concise, exam-ready, and cover everything important. Cheat sheet, right to property, present position. Original position, before 1978, fundamental right, Part 3, covered under Art. 19(1) F, right of citizens to acquire, hold, and dispose of property. Art. 31, protection for all persons against deprivation of property. Conditions: 1. Only for public purpose. 2. Must give compensation. Why controversial? Gov versus property owners disputes on compensation. Supreme Court versus Parliament clashes. Amendments 1st, 4th, 25th, 39th, 40th, 42nd. New articles 31A, 31B, 31C to protect land reform laws, etc. Hash turning point 44th Amendment Act 1978 deleted Art. 19(1) F and Art. 31. Inserted Art. 300A, Part 12. No person shall be deprived of his property except by authority of law. Right to property equals no longer fundamental right, now only legal, constitutional right. Present position today, legal right, Art. 300A, not fundamental right. Not part of basic structure, Parliament can change. Remedy, can't go to Supreme Court, Art. 32, must go to High Court civil courts. Still protected, Gov must pass valid law. Give fair compensation. Examples. Gov acquires land for National Highway Dam. Must pass acquisition law plus pay compensation. Owner cannot claim as fundamental right, only as legal right in courts. Current legal safeguards. Right to fair compensation and transparency in Land Acquisition Act 2013 ensures better compensation and rehabilitation. Supreme Court rulings. Property right equals important human right, but not absolute. Exam tips and tricks. Timeline trick. Before 1978, fundamental right, Art. 19(1) F plus 31. After 1978, legal right, Arc. 300A. Two golden words to remember, public purpose plus compensation. Easy mnemonic, property faded in 78, remember 44th Amendment. Difference hack, fundamental right, direct SC remedy, Art. 32. Legal right, high courts, Civil courts. Quick recap, keywords only. Original, fundamental right, Art 19.1 F plus 31. Conflict, SC versus Parliament Amendments First 42nd. Change, 44th Amendment 1978, abolished as FR. Now, legal right, Art 300A. Status, not part of basic structure. Protection, only by law plus compensation. This is all you need to revise in 2 minutes before exam. Would you like me to also make a comparison table before 1978 versus after 1978 to quickly visualize the change? Perfect. Let's now compress everything into a one-page cheat sheet. Crisp, keyword-focused, all-important dates, cases, and points and bullets. This will be your quick revision page before exams. Hash a cheat sheet, right to property, Article 300A. Origin and evolution, 1950 Constitution. Fundamental right, Art 19.1F. Citizens, acquire, hold, dispose property. Art 31. All persons, no deprivation except public purpose plus compensation. 1978 44th Amendment. Deleted. Arts 19.1 F 31. Inserted Art 300A. Legal right only. Article 300A, to text. No person shall be deprived of his property except by authority of law. Not a fundamental right. Can't use Art 32 SC. Remedy. High Court, Article 26, or civil courts. Only protects against executive action, not valid legislative law. Key features of legal right. Can be changed by ordinary law, not constitutional amendment. Compensation not automatic. Depends on law, not constitution. Court rulings. KT Plantation, 2011. Compensation must be just, fair, non-arbitrary. Still considered a human right under Art 300A. Exceptions. Compensation guaranteed. 1. Art 30. Minority Educational Institutions. 44th Amendment, 1978. 2. Art 31A. Personal cultivation land within ceiling. 17th Amendment, 1964. Hack. Protective shield still valid. Art 31A. Land reform laws protected. Art 31B. 9th Schedule. Laws beyond challenge. Art 31C. Laws for DPSP. Art 39B. C. Protected. Key law today. Right to fair compensation and transparency in Land Acquisition Act, LAR Act. Social impact assessment, compensation, 2 to 4x rural, 1 to 2x urban, rehab and resettlement. Hack 1950, property equals fundamental right, Arts 19.1F 31. 1964, 17th Amendment, Art 31A, compensation rule for farmers. 1978, 44th Amendment, Property equals legal right, Art 300A. 2013, New Land Acquisition Act, Fair Compensation Framework. Difference, fundamental versus legal right aspect, fundamental, before 1978, legal after 1978. Articles, 19.1, 31, 300A. Status, fundamental, legal constitutional. Remedy, direct SC, Art of 32, HC, Art of 226, civil courts. Compensation, guaranteed, not guaranteed. Against, exec plus legislature, only exec action. Changeability needs amendment. Simple law. Tips and tricks for exam. Keyword memory trick. PCLR, purpose, public, compensation, law, authority, remedy, and HC. Timeline hack, 1950, FR 1964, farmers, 1978, legal right, 2013, LR Act. One-liner, right to property is no longer a fundamental right. It survives as a legal right under Article 300A with limited protection but human rights status. With this one-page bullet sheet, you can revise in 2 to 3 minutes before exams and not miss a single important fact. Do you want me to also create a visual memory map chart, like a diagram linking articles, amendments, exceptions, and cases, so it's even easier to recall in seconds? Perfect. Here's your world best one-page cheat sheet for Article 31A, exceptions to fundamental rights. I've made it super crisp with bullets, dates, keywords, memory tricks, and exam tips. Nothing important is left out. This is like a revision page before exams. Article 31A, cheat sheet, exam ready. Origin, added by First Constitutional Amendment Act, 1951. Purpose, protect land reform laws. SP, abolition of zamindari, from being struck down by courts. Why needed? Landowners challenged reforms as violating. Art 14, equality before law. Art 19, freedoms, speech, movement, business, etc. What it does, saves 5 categories of laws from being invalidated just because they violate Art 14 and 19. Applies to agriculture, land reforms, industry, commerce. 5 categories of laws protected, AMADM. 1. Acquisition of estates and land rights, e.g. taking landlord land, redistributing to farmers. 2. Management of property by state, temporary, e.g. Gov runs mismanaged sick factory. 3. Amalgamation of corporations, e.g. merging weak sugar mills. 4. Directors, shareholders' rights modified extinguished, e.g. curbing unfair shareholder privileges. 5. Mining leases modified extinguished, e.g. canceling mining lease in forest. Special rules, state laws, need president's assent for 31A shield. Compensation. If land is personally cultivated plus within ceiling limit, must pay market value. Judicial story, key cases. Shankari Prasad, 1951, First Amendment upheld, Parliament can amend FRs. Golaknath, 1967, Parliament cannot amend FRs, temporary. Kesavananda Bharati, 1973, Parliament can amend but not damage basic structure. I.R. Coelho, 2007, Ninth Schedule laws after 24th April 1973, subject to judicial review. Key features, protects only 5 categories, not all laws. Saves from violation of Art 14 and 19 only, not other FRs. President's assent mandatory for state laws. Ensures market value compensation for small cultivators. Not absolute, courts can still review laws under basic structure. Memory tricks, AMADM, article makes a dream move. State, president's assent. Small farmer, market value compensation. Exam tips, always mention First Amendment, 1951. Write the 5 categories, AMADM, examiners love lists. Add case laws, Shankari, Golaknath, Kesavananda, Coelho. Use keywords, protects land reform, Art 14 and 19, president's assent, market value. Show evolution, from absolute shield, limited by basic structure. In one line for 5-mark answer. Article 31A, First Amendment, 1951, types of land and property-related laws from Art Part 14 and 19 challenges, with conditions, residents' assent for state laws plus market value compensation for small farmers, but later limited by basic structure doctrine. Do you want me to design this as a proper one-page printable PDF cheat sheet, with arrows, boxes, highlights like a topper's notes, so you can revise in 2 minutes before exams? Perfect. Let's now prepare a world's best one-page cheat sheet for Article 31B in 9th Schedule. This will be super crisp, exam-focused, with keywords, dates, tricks, and no missed points, your fastest revision tool. Article 31B and 9th Schedule. Article 31B, validation of certain acts and regulations, protects laws placed in 9th Schedule from challenge in courts, shields against violation of fundamental rights, wider than Article 31A, not limited to land reforms. Why created? To protect land reform laws and zamindari abolition from being struck down by courts. Zamindars earlier challenged reforms under right to property. 9th Schedule, created 1951, First Constitutional Amendment. Starting 13 acts, mainly land reforms. Present 2025, 284 acts. Includes state laws, land reforms, tenancy, zamindari abolition. Parliament laws, industries, trade, reservations, e.g. Tamil Nadu 69% reservation law. Article 31A versus 31B. 31A protects only 5 categories, agriculture, land reforms, etc. 31B protects all laws in 9th Schedule, big umbrella. Memory trick. A equals agriculture, limited. B equals big basket, all kinds of laws. Judicial review in key cases. 1. Kesavananda Bharati case, 1973, gave basic structure doctrine. Parliament cannot destroy Constitution's essential features. Cutoff date, 24th April 1973. 2. I.R. Coelho case, 2007, no blanket immunity for 9th Schedule. Judicial review basic feature. Laws in 9th Schedule after 24th April 1973 open to challenge if violate fundamental rights, Art. 15, 1921, or destroy basic structure. Fundamental rights mostly involved. Article 14, right to equality. Article 15, no discrimination. Article 19, freedoms, speech, movement, trade, etc. Article 21, right to life and liberty. Exam smart keywords. 31B equals safe locker for laws. 9th Schedule equals immunity basket. Pre-1973 laws equals mostly safe. Post-1973 laws equals courts can review. Coelho equals master key to open locker. Tips and tricks for revision. One-line formula. 31A equals land reforms only. 31B equals 9th Schedule equals all laws safe till 1973. After that, courts can check. Dates to remember. 1951, 9th Schedule born, 13 acts. 1973, Kesavananda, basic structure. 2007, I.R. Coelho, judicial review returns. Shortcut, safe till 1973, checked after 1973. With this sheet, you can revise entire Article 31B plus 9th Schedule in 2 minutes before exam. Do you want me to also make a visual diagram flowchart, like a map of this for even faster memory recall? Perfect. Let me now make the world's best exam cheat sheet page for Article 31C, Saving of Laws for Directive Principles. It will be super crisp, exam-ready, keyword-rich, with dates, cases, and tricks. You can revise it in just a few minutes before exam. Article 31C, Cheat Sheet, one-page revision. Basic idea. Purpose. To give priority to some directive principles, DPSPs, over some fundamental rights, FRs. Focus DPSPs. Article 39B and C, B. Distribution of resources for common good. C. No concentration of wealth, prevent inequality. Key provisions. 25th Amendment, 1971. First provision. Laws for 39B and C cannot be challenged under Art. 14, Equality, Art. 19, 6 Freedoms. 2. Second provision. If law declares it is for 39b-C, courts cannot landmark judgments. Kesavananda Bharati, 1973. First part upheld. Second part struck down. Judicial review, basic structure. 42nd Amendment, 1976. Extended Article 31C protection to all DPSPs, Part 4. Minerva Mills, 1980. Extension invalid. Balance restored. FRs also part of basic structure. Article 31C limited only to 39B and C. Current position, 2025. Only laws under 39B and C get protection. They cannot be challenged for violating Art. 14 and 19. Courts can still check whether the law truly serves 39B, C. Keywords to remember. 25th Amendment, 1971, inserted Article 31C. 39B and C, socialist goals. 14 and 19, rights that can be bypassed. Kesavananda, 1973, saved first, struck second. 42nd Amendment, 1976, tried to expand. Minerva Mills, 1980, expansion struck down. Now only 39B and C. Hatch tips and tricks. Code to recall, 31C, 39B plus C, 14 plus 19. Article 31C makes 39B and C stronger than 14 and 19. Case timeline, 1971, 25th Amend, 1973, Kesavananda, 1976, 42nd Amend, 1980, Minerva Mills. Link with socialism, Article 31C protects socialist distribution laws. Essence in one line, Article 31C equals socialist DPSPs, 39B plus C, stronger than FRs, 14 plus 19, but with court's power of review intact. Do you want me to also make a memory map flowchart diagram, like arrows and boxes, for quick 10-sec revision before exam? Perfect. Let's create the world's best one-page cheat sheet on rights outside Part 3, constitutional legal rights. It'll be crisp bullet style, keywords only, with dates, articles, tricks, so you can revise super fast before exams. I'll also add smart memory tips. Cheat sheet, rights outside Part 3, non-fundamental rights. Meaning, rights written in other parts of Constitution, not Part 3. Called constitutional rights, legal rights, non-fundamental rights. Justiciable, can go to court, but not fundamental rights. Key examples. 1. Article 265, Part 12, Finance. No tax shall be levied or collected except by authority of law. Gov cannot take tax without valid law by Parliament State Legislature. Protects from arbitrary taxation. Case, Commissioner of Income Tax, B.C. Srinivasa Sethi, 1981, no tax woe law. 2. Article 300A, Part 12, Property. No person shall be deprived of property save by authority of law. Right to property equals legal right, not fundamental. Earlier, fundamental right, Art 19.1, F and 31, removed by 44th Amendment, 1978. Gov can acquire land property only via law, with procedure. Compensation depends on law. Case, KT Plantation v. State of Karnataka, 2011. Deprivation must be just, fair, and legal. 3. Article 301, Part 3, Trade and Commerce. Trade, commerce, and intercourse throughout India shall be free. Goal, economic unity and free market. But Parliament states can impose reasonable restrictions, Arts 302 to 305. Case, Adiabari Tiko v. Assam, 1961, restrictions must be reasonable. Case, Automobile Transport Limited v. Rajasthan, 1962, freedom not absolute. Enforcement, how to go to court. Fundamental rights, Part 3. Violation, directly to Supreme Court, Art 32. Art 32 itself equals fundamental right. Rights outside Part 3. Violation cannot use Art 32. Remedies. 1. High Court under Art 226, writs for legal constitutional rights. 2. Ordinary suit, civil case. Justiciable but not fundamental. These rights can be protected in courts, but they lack special constitutional remedy of Art 32. Difference equals enforcement path. Shaft memory tricks. TPT equals tax, property, trade, main non-FR rights. Dates to remember. 1950, Constitution begins. 1978, 44th Amendment removes right to property from FRs, moves to Art 300A. FR Supreme Court, Art 32. Non-FR High Court, Art 226. Ordinary suit. Possible exam cues. Distinguish fundamental rights versus constitutional legal rights. Explain Art 300A and why right to property is no longer a FR. Meaning and scope of Art 301, trade freedom. How to enforce Art 265, taxation rule. Why Art 32 is called the heart and soul, Dr. Bedkar. Quick recap, 10 sec. Non-FRs equals tax, 265, property 300A, trade 301. Enforceable, but not via Art 32. Use Art 226, HC writs, or ordinary suit. Right to property, legal right after 44th Amendment, 1978. Goals, protect citizens from arbitrary tax, unlawful deprivation of property, and barriers to free trade. Would you like me to also make a visual flowchart diagram, like arrows, right, enforcement, court, remedy, so you can remember in just one glance during exam prep? Here's a one-page crisp cheat sheet for fundamental rights, FRs, made for quickest exam revision. I've included all keywords, dates, facts, tricks, and extra points so that nothing important is missed. Cheat sheet. Fundamental rights. Historical demands for FRs, 1895, Constitution of India. Bill first explicit demand, inspired by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. 1928, Motilal Nehru Report, demanded inalienable FRs cannot be taken away. 1931, Karachi Session INC, resolution on FRs presided by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, drafted by Jawaharlal Nehru. Fundamental rights in the Constitution, found in Part 3, Articles 12 to 35, called the Magna Carta of India, Charter of Rights, available to citizens, some to all persons, foreigners plus citizens, can be enforced by courts, right to constitutional remedies. Original 7 Fundamental Rights, 1950. 1. Right to equality, Art 14 to 18. 2. Right to freedom, Art 19 to 22. 3. Right against exploitation, Art 23 to 24. 4. Right to freedom of religion, 25 to 28. 5. Cultural and educational rights, Art 29 to 30. 6. Right to property, Art 31, deleted in 1978. 7. Right to constitutional remedies, Art 32, heart and soul of Constitution, Dr. Ambedkar. Present 6 fundamental rights after 44th Amendment Act, 1978, right to property removed. Now legal right under Article 300A, Part 12. Current FRs equals 6, same as above except property. Key amendments changes, 7th FR removed, 44th Amendment Act, 1978. Emergency 1975 to 77, many FRs suspended, except Art 2021, basic protection. Kesavananda Bharati case, 1973. FRs part of basic structure cannot be destroyed. Maneka Gandhi case, 1978. Expanded scope of right to life, Art 21, includes dignity, privacy, education, environment, etc. FRs outside Part 3, important for exams. Art 300A, right to property, legal right. Art 265, no tax without authority of law. Art 326, right to vote. Art 301 to 305, freedom of trade and commerce. Quick tricks to remember, 6 FRs today. EQ-FO EX-RA CEO, EQ equality, FO freedom, EX against exploitation, RE religion, CE cultural educational, CO constitutional remedies, heart and soul of Constitution, Article 32 constitutional remedies. Property equals not FR, only legal right now. Examples, for better recall. Equality 14, no caste-based discrimination in jobs. Freedom, R19. Freedom of speech equals, you can criticize Gov peacefully. Against exploitation, Art 23 to 24, ban on child labor in factories. Religion, Art 25, free to follow Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, etc. Cultural educational, Art 29 to 30, minority schools like St. Xavier's College. Constitutional remedies, Art 32, file writ in Supreme Court if rights violated. Exam smart tips, always link dates plus amendments cases. Use tricks like EQFO EX Re CECO for recall. Write examples to score extra marks. For prelims, focus on articles amendments. For mains, focus case laws. Absolutely. Here's a world-class, super concise one-page cheat sheet for fundamental rights, FRs. Articles 12 to 35, including all essential points, dates, amendments, examples, and exam tricks. Perfect for quick revision before exams. Fundamental rights, crisp cheat sheet. Historical timeline and key facts. 1895, Constitution of India. Bill, first explicit demand for FRs, Bal Gangar Tilak. 1928, Motilal Nehru Report, demanded inalienable fundamental rights. 1931, Karachi Session INC, resolution on FRs, presided by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, drafted by Jawaharlal Nehru. 1950, Constitution came into force, 7 FRs originally. 1978, 44th Amendment Act, right to property removed from FRs, now legal right, Article 300A. Emergency rule, FRs can be suspended except Articles 20 and 21. Part 3 equals Magna Carta of India, Articles 1235, protect citizens from arbitrary action of the state. Justiciable courts can enforce them. Article 32, Supreme Court. Article 226, High Courts. Often compared with U.S. Bill of Rights. Right to equality, Articles 14 to 18. Art 14, equality before law and equal protection. Art 15, no discrimination on religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. Art 16, equal opportunity in public employment. Art Book 17, abolition of untouchability. Art Book 18, abolition of titles except military and academic. Example, school cannot refuse admission based on caste, religion, gender. Right to freedom, Articles 19-22. 6 fundamental freedoms, Article 19. A, speech and expression, express opinion freely. B, assemble peacefully without arms. C, form associations, unions, cooperative societies. D, move freely throughout India. E, reside and settle anywhere in India. F, practice any profession or carry on trade business. Note property right removed from FRs by 44th Amendment, 1978, now legal right under Art 300 et A. Other articles, Art 20. Protection in respect of criminal conviction, no double jeopardy, no ex post facto law, no self-incrimination. Art 21, protection of life and personal liberty, expanded by Maneka Gandhi case, 1978, includes dignity, privacy, health, shelter. Example, you can travel freely, choose any job, form clubs, unions, speak freely, live anywhere, protected by law if wrongly accused. Key exam tips, tricks, 6 FRs today. EQ EX Re CECO, EQ Equality 418, FO Freedom 1922, EX Against Exploitation 2024, RE Religion 2028, CE Cultural and Educational 2930, CO Constitutional Remedies 32, Heart and Soul of Constitution, Article 32, courts can enforce FRs. Emergency, RDOP 358, suspends FRs except 20 and 21. Property, no longer FR, Article 300A, legal right. Article 21, modern scope, life equals dignity, privacy, health, clean environment. Quick example, flashcards, right? Key article example. Equality, 14 to 18. School cannot discriminate on caste, gender. Freedom, 19. Speak, move, assemble, settle, profession. Against exploitation, 24. Ban on child labor and trafficking. Religion, 25 to 28. Practice any religion freely. Cultural edu, 29 to 30. Minority schools, St. Xavier's. Constitutional remedies, 32. Go to SC if rights violated. Property, legal, 300A. State cannot take property unfairly. Quick memory tricks. EQFO EXCECO, 6 FRs now. 32 equals heart and soul. Always remember SC and HC enforcement. Property, 300A, legal, not FR. Emergency equals 358. FR suspended except 20 and 21. Maneka Gandhi, 1978, Life and Liberty Expanded. This is crisp, exam-ready, all-important facts in one page. If you want, I can make a next-level ultra-visual version with diagram plus color-coded memory map of all FRs with articles, amendments, examples, and emergency notes. Perfect for 1-minute revision before exams. Do you want me to make that? Absolutely. Here's the world's best, ultra-crisp, exam-ready cheat sheet for fundamental rights, FRs, including 86th Amendment, Articles 21A to 32, rights against exploitation, religious and cultural rights, and writs. All keywords, dates, amendments, examples, and tips included in one page for quick revision. Have fundamental rights, ultra-crisp cheat sheet. Key historical timeline and amendments. 1895, Constitution of India Bill. First FR demand, Tilak, 1928. Motilal Nehru Report. Demanded inalienable FRs, 1931. Karachi INC. Resolution on FRs, Patel presided, 1950. Constitution enforced. 7 FRs originally. 1978, 44th Amendment. Right to property removed from FRs. Now legal right under Article 300A. 2002, 86th Amendment. Elementary education made FR, Article 21A, ages 6-14. Part 3, Magna Carta of India, Articles 12 to 35, protect citizens from arbitrary state action, justiciable, enforceable in courts, SC, Art 32, HC, Art 226, emergency, Art 358 suspends FRs except 20 and 21. Right to equality, Articles 14 to 18. Art 14, equality before law and equal protection. Art 15, no discrimination, religion, caste, sex, race, birth. Art 16, equal opportunity in public employment. Art 17, abolition of untouchability. Art 18, abolition of titles, except military and academic. Example, school cannot deny admission based on caste, religion, gender. Right to freedom, Articles 19 to 22. 6 freedoms, Art 19. A, speech and expression. B, peaceful assembly, no arms. C, form associations, unions, cooperatives. D, move freely in India. E, reside and settle anywhere. F, practice profession or trade business. Other articles. Art 20, protection against arbitrary criminal conviction, no ex post facto, double jeopardy, forced self-incrimination. Art 21, life and personal liberty, expanded by Maneka Gandhi 1978, includes dignity, privacy, health, shelter. Art 21A, free and compulsory education for 6 to 14 years. Right against exploitation, Articles 23 to 24. Art 23, no human trafficking, forced labor except jail labor. Art 24, no child employment below 14 in factories, mines, hazardous work. Example, child labor banned, human trafficking illegal. Freedom of religion, Articles 25 to 28. Art 25, freedom of conscience and religion. Art 26, manage religious affairs and institutions. Art 27, no tax money for religion. Art 28, no compulsory religious instruction in schools. Example, school cannot force students of other faiths to attend religious prayers. Cultural and educational rights, Articles 29 to 30. Art 29, preserve language, script, culture, any citizen. Art 30, minorities can establish and run educational institutions. Example, Christians can run their schools. Tamil community can preserve language. Constitutional remedies, Article 32. Art 32 equals heart and soul of Constitution, Dr. Ambedkar. SC, writs only for FR enforcement. HC, Art 226, writs for FRs plus other legal public purposes. 5 writs, SC and HC. 1 corpus, release illegally detained person. 2 mandamus, order public official to perform duty. 3 prohibition, stop lower court authority acting illegally. Certiorari, cancel lower court authority illegal decisions. 5 quo pronto, question authority holding public office. Key exam tips, tricks, 6 FRs now. EQ fo ex re ceco. EQ equort 18. FO freedom 1922. EX exploitation 2324. Re religion 25 to 28. CE cultural educational 2930. CO constitutional remedies 32. Article 32 SC. Article 226 HC broader power. Agency. Art 358 are suspended except 20 and 21. Property now under Art 300A, not FR. 21A, 86th Amendment 2002. Free and compulsory education. Article 21 modern scope includes dignity, privacy, health, clean environment, shelter. This cheat sheet is perfect for 1-minute revision. Contains all essential facts, articles, amendments, examples, and exam tricks, and nothing is skipped. If you want, I can now make an even more visual mind map cheat sheet with articles, amendments, examples, and writs in color-coded format so you can memorize in 30 seconds. Do you want me to make that next? Absolutely. Here's a world-class, exam-ready, 1-page cheat sheet for your topic. I've made it super concise with all key facts, dates, keywords, and memory tips, so you can revise in 1 minute. cheat sheet, Articles 358, 359, and Bachan Singh case. Article 358, suspension of Article 19 during emergencies. What it says: freedom rights under Article 19 can be temporarily paused during emergencies. Emergency types: war, external attack, external aggression, internal disturbance, law and order threat. Impact: citizens cannot exercise certain freedoms, speech, assembly, movement, etc., temporarily. Memory tip: storm stops playing in the park, Article 19 suspended. Article 359, suspension of enforcement of fundamental rights. What it says: during emergency, enforcement of most fundamental rights can be suspended. Exception: Article 20, protection in criminal cases, cannot be punished unfairly. Article 21, right to life and personal liberty, cannot be killed or imprisoned illegally. 44th Amendment, 1978. Only Articles 20 and 21 cannot be suspended, even in storm, can't stop breathing or punish unfairly. Articles 20 and 21 safe. Bachan Singh versus State of Punjab, 1980. Type: Supreme Court case on death penalty. Section 302 IPC. Key points: Section 302 IPC, punishment for murder, death or life imprisonment. Sentencing discretion, court chooses punishment based on circumstances. Judgment, death penalty is not violative of Article 14, 1921. Significance, introduced rarest of rare doctrine, death penalty only in extremely serious cases. Memory tip: teacher punishes kids differently based on intent, court chooses punishment based on crime. Hack keywords and quick recall. Suspension, pause temporarily. Provision, rule or law. Enforcement, ability to go to court. Emergency equals war, external aggression, internal threat. Articles not suspendable, 2021. IPC 302 equals murder punishment. Rarest of rare, death penalty only in extreme cases. Quick tricks for exam 1, associate articles with examples. Article 19, playing in park. Article 20, no unfair punishment. Article 21, right to breathe live. 2. Remember 44th Amendment, Articles 20 and 21 always safe. 3. Bachan Singh, rarest of rare doctrine, death penalty only in extreme cases. 4. Emergency, pause rights temporarily. Both Articles 358 and 359. One-line super summary for memory. Emergency equals pause rights. 358 freedoms, 359 enforceability, except 20 and 21. Bachan Singh, death penalty okay only in rare cases. If you want, I can make an even more compact version in a visual table diagram, so you can memorize in 10-15 seconds. Perfect for last-minute revision. Do you want me to do that?